Hey, Granny Gear here for Old Guy on a Bike. Today we're talking about road tires. And since I really don't know very much about road tires, haven't really used a lot of them, I feel absolutely confident as a YouTube influencer of talking all about them. Now, I'm sort of kidding about not knowing anything about road tires. That isn't quite true. I know what I like to ride and I know what seems to be working for me. But I have to say, in all honesty, I think I've only used about 4 different sets of road tires. And that's because I've used a lot of mountain bike tires. I've used a lot of gravel bike tires. But you know, road biking for me is something that's been, well, kind of a recent thing, man. I was a mountain biker. Roadies were those people that sat around at the bike shop and shaved their legs and did pace line and rode in these fast little groups and never waved at anybody. We just thought that they were, well, kind of silly actually. But here I am now doing an awful lot of road riding, and I have for the last, at least 5 years or so, and probably a little bit more of that now, because I really do enjoy riding my road bike, especially in Southern California. I had run on almost all of my old rim brake bikes, the Continental GP 4000. Was it S, wasn't it? I think. What a great tire. I mean, that's a legendary tire. Tubes, of course, and there's only a 25 millimeter because then that was a big tire. Well, when I moved to a disc brake bike, I tried some different ones. There was a tire, I can't remember, my goodness, I can't remember what it was. Gosh, my memory fails me, but man, was that one slow tire. It was a 30, and I guess it was designed to be really durable, like a commuting type tire. I didn't know. What do I know? I'm no roadie. That was pretty horrible. And then I tried some of the WTB. I think it was the, was it the Exposure? They've changed the names of them. 30 millimeter wide slick road tire. Not a bad tire. I never felt like it particularly sparkled. When it started to wear, you get a little flat on top, man, they would just handle weird. So didn't really care for that long term, but I certainly like the big tire. And what I ran for a long time, both on myself and Mrs. Granigger's road bikes, was the Schwalbe Pro 1 TLR. Man, that was actually a really good tire for its time. However, they were very expensive. Even back in the day, they were really hard to find. And I found that they cut actually fairly easily, and they didn't really last all that long. So while at the time I was happy with how fast they felt, there are other things about them I wasn't so crazy about. So when I built up my Time 80HX, I was starting from scratch, and I really wasn't that satisfied that much with any of the other tires. And I thought, well, let's go down to the local bike shop and let's see what they've got hanging on the wall. Now, if I were to say to you guys out there in YouTube land, what is the #1 road tire on the market right now, especially if you want a big tubeless tire like a 30 or a 32? And you would say, and rightly so, well, Granny Gear, that's the Continental GP 5000. And you'd be right. That is a very impressive tire and has won accolades for its overall performance, longevity, etc., etc. But did you know, you may know if you're buying them, those tires are $100 a piece? Now, when I'm starting from scratch on a new bike build, I buy 3 tires. Why do you buy 3 tires, Granny Gear, you might ask? Well, that's a darn good question. I'll tell you why I buy 3 tires. I buy 3 tires because if the night before a big ride or something and I'm checking my bike and going through, chain and tire pressure, and I find I've got a damaged tire, I'm going to miss the ride if I don't have a spare tire, and I like to have a spare tire that matches. On a gravel bike, if I just got to grab some other tire, I don't really care. On the road bike, I really like my tires to be matchy because I think I will notice potentially the difference in handling, size, contour, whatever. And I'd rather not do that. So I buy 3 of them. That is $300 and change. That's a lot for 3 bicycle tires. Well, this happens to be a Specialized dealer, this bike shop, and they had some Specialized road tires on the wall. They were in a 30 millimeter size. That's what I was looking for. They were tubeless. I was looking for that. And they were the S-Works turbos. Now, I've used a ton of Specialized tires over the years for mountain bikes, and only once did I dabble with one of their gravel bike tires. I've got another one I'm going to try here in a little bit, but in the meantime, I had never used any of their road tires, but I think Specialized generally makes some pretty good products. Well, here's what made me buy 3 of the S-Works Turbo road tires as opposed to the Continentals. They were $80 each. Now, $20 a tire doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're buying 3 of them, that's $60. Plus, the shop owner said, you know what, if you don't like them, you bring them back and we'll trade you out for something you like. S-Works Turbos, here we go. Now I've got over 2,500 miles or so on my Time 80HX. These tires have been on the bike the entire time. I have swapped out the rear tire, and I did that. It was starting to get a little flat topped, probably 500 or so miles ago, maybe a little more, probably a little more than that. And I did that for that big ride I had coming up that climb to Kaiser, because I really just wanted a fresh tire on there. The front is still the original one that's on there. It's looking actually still really, really good. I haven't had a flat yet. I've had some little thorns and things. They all sealed up. Tubeless wise, these have been great. They've been easy to inflate on these rims, as on these Rolf Prima wheels. They've been fine tubeless. No complaints there. They seem to wear very, very well. Now, I think, getting a lot of mileage out of a tire isn't necessarily that difficult, but also having them ride well and be fast feeling, that's a little harder, isn't it? And these just feel great. Now, I haven't gone to Bicycle Rolling Resistance and done all my due diligence and looked for the less watts per whatever, I'm going to go ride it. I'm going to see if I like it, if it feels like it's dragging along, if I'm happy with the performance. And I'm happy with the longevity, I'm happy with the durability, I'm happy with the cost. Well, I'm happy. So while I can't compare these to the gold standard, the GP5000, and I'm certainly not going to say these are the best road tires, for me, they've been great. Honestly, I was looking at them the other day. There's not a cut, not a scratch, not a chip, nothing on these things, and our roads are not necessarily the best here in Southern California. They're pretty bad, actually. They measure up to a 32 millimeter wide tire, tubeless, on these Rolf Primas, but these Rolf Prima, these Aries 4 ARs, they're 25 internal, hooked, and so that's a pretty wide rim, and so I would expect any tire to plump up, but having the weight of a 30 and the effective width and volume of a 32, well, that's not a bad thing. I did not weigh them. Honestly, I didn't really care at the time. I mean, how much could it weigh? It's a 30 millimeter road tire, and it's going to be competitive. I'll put the weights that Specialized claims up on the screen for the tire. Now, these are the normal, so to speak, tire. They also have a racing version of this. I forget what they call it. I'll put it up on the screen. It has a little lighter, more supple casing, probably a faster tire, maybe a little more fragile, I don't know, but it's designed for racing. I'm not racing. I'm just going out there and riding. I might be racing some of the other old folks in my group, in good fun. But I want a tire that's just got a nice all-around balanced performance, and these have just been great tires, guys. They've just been really good. This front tire, I'm looking at it, it's starting to look slightly worn. It's probably 2 to 1 for rear tire wear to front tire wear because of the load on a rear tire, your weight, and you brake with your rear tire, a lot more, and on and on and on. Rear tires are usually the ones you cut, right, or flat. So I think really, I'm on my second rear tire, and I bet you if I kept the other one on there, it would just now be starting to get what I would consider truly worn out. 2,500 miles. I don't think that's too bad, but I don't have a whole lot of experience with road tires, so maybe that isn't all that remarkable, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it. It's certainly lasting longer than those Schwalbes did. Probably not the ultimate road bike tire test video, is it? But you know what? That's because I am not the ultimate road bike tire tester, and I'm not going to say that I am. But that doesn't mean I'm some old putzer running around on a road bike and I don't care how fast I go. I do. And I care about comfort and I care about cornering performance and et cetera, et cetera. And so far, well, I absolutely can recommend these tires based on just how they've treated me. And you know what? Manager said, bring them back if you don't like them. Well, I never did. That kind of sums up my feelings about the Specialized S-Works Turbo 30mm road tires in the 2Bliss version with the T2 T5 compound. Hopefully it's been helpful for you guys. If you're shopping for tires and you're thinking, holy smokes, tires are expensive. They are. I don't want to make a mistake, and I think you can. Well, I don't think you would with these, and we'll leave it at that. You guys have a great week and or weekend, and as always, go ride your bikes. The life of YouTube. Camera retrieval.